Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's America's Partner Insider Call. This webinar will be recorded on behalf of Microsoft Corporation. If you do not wish to be recorded, please log off now. The on-demand presentation will be available in a few days on our America's Partner Insider Hub. You will receive a thank you email with access to today's content. You are welcome to post any questions or comments in the Q&A chat in English, Spanish, Portuguese, or French. Subtitles are also available at this event. Now, let me introduce Caris Brock, Channel Marketing Manager at Microsoft. Welcome, Caris.
Thank you so much. Hello and welcome everyone to our America's Partner Insider Call. My name is Caris Brooks, and I'm one of the America's Communication Strategy Leads, responsible for helping deliver relevant information to you, our partners, and to help you drive your business in partnership with Microsoft. I want to start out today by thanking you all for taking your time to be with us. These calls occur monthly, and we are always looking forward to your feedback and topic suggestions to make this time valuable for you. Let's get started. We have a great agenda for you today. We're going to make some announcements, and then we're going into our topic for this month, Copilot for Security, with two experts from our product go-to-market team. Your feedback is very valuable to us, and I'm going to give everyone 1 minute, if you don't mind, answering a few poll questions. Next slide, please. There will be a link also in the chat. This helps our speakers, as they're speaking, understand the audience better. So I'll give everyone 1 moment to fill out the survey. Next slide, please. Thank you so much for your participation. As you're filling that out, please be reminded to register for our next call, scheduled for May 8th, where the topic will be demystifying Copilot licensing. If you've missed any of our prior calls, please click on the link at the bottom of the slide to access the on-demand recordings. Next slide, please. Now I want to welcome Joby Pearson to give you an update on some of our new Surface announcements. Joby?
Thank you, Caris. Well, for those that missed it, Surface just announced the first set of AI PCs designed to accelerate Copilot and other AI experiences. These are the first Surface devices that have ever been built specifically for just commercial customers. And I have to tell you, in my 10 years on the commercial Surface business, I've never been more excited about the leap in innovation that these devices represent. Of course, they come with Windows 11 Pro, the brand new Intel Core Ultra processor with NPU Intel AI Boost. So think of that just like GPUs took digital off of the CPU. Now the NPUs, neural processing units, take a lot of the AI workloads off your CPUs, which gives you the ultimate in performance. No more Teams calls will drag down your device performance as we've experienced in the past. These also come with built-in NFC readers, beautiful Pixie Sense anti-reflective screens, and our repairability went from not being repairable years ago to probably being best-in-class repairability in devices today. Amazing cameras, mics, speakers, give you great Windows Studio effects, And on the laptop 6, we also have an optional smart card reader now, which was very much sought after from our commercial customers. And of course, both devices come with the new Copilot key to give you easy access for all your AI copilots. Next slide. And even more exciting, with the unprecedented demand for AI solutions such as Copilot, your customers are going to require hardware upgrades to meet the computing needs of AI. So we've launched what we call the Breadth channel that allows all resellers to now quote and resell Surface through our authorized distributors. This is a huge partner opportunity for you, so please don't miss out. Best to contact your distributor today and find out how you can start representing Surface out to your customers. And with that, thank you, Carice.
Apologies, I realized I'm on mute. If you haven't already, please make sure that you are signed up for our monthly Cloud Partner Program newsletter. Be sure to be engaged in our Microsoft Americas Partner LinkedIn community. Next slide, please. If you're engaging with us on our LinkedIn community and our other social media channels, we've created a communication taxonomy to help you search and identify content that is relevant to your partner type as well as your role. This is available in the deck that will be shared with you later. Next slide, please. This is just an example of how you can identify the taxonomy in our communications. In the top left of the slide, you'll see an Americas email that's detailing the audience with hashtags relevant to the content of the email. Next slide. Just another quick note, here's a list of our most current blogs. You will notice we most recently started something called Top Stories, which is a weekly blog that will help you identify the 3 most important topics of the week. All right, let's get started. We now have a quick video from our Corporate Vice President of Americas Global Partner Solutions, Nina Harding. Please play the video for our partners.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the April Partner Insider Call. Today, we will share information about how Microsoft is pioneering a paradigm shift in security using most advanced generative AI. During this session, you'll hear about how to leverage this fast-growing opportunity in the security market while protecting our customers at the speed and scale of AI. You'll also learn why Copilot for Security is the industry-leading AI security solution and how you can enhance and expand your customer offerings using Copilot for Security. Lastly, you'll hear about firsthand about how generative AI is changing the way we approach security and how to leverage this opportunity. Honestly, security is top of mind for every executive at every company across the globe. And Gen AI is an incredibly powerful tool in the pursuit of digital security. I am so glad you could join us. This topic is really important right now. And I think the opportunities we have to connect and share the plethora of talent, information, and the cutting edge technology that we have is incredibly valuable. If you'd like more ways to stay connected with us, we encourage you to join the Americas Partner community on LinkedIn. It's a great place to stay connected and up to date on the latest developments. In the LinkedIn community, keep an eye out for registration links to our upcoming focus groups. And we also hold quarterly focus groups, this time in April, on topics that are relevant to partnering with Microsoft, because we honestly want to hear from you. Your feedback is so important. We're listening, and hopefully you're starting to see that the feedback is actually influencing the investments and the energy that we are putting into driving the business with all of you. So thank you again for your partnership. Hope you enjoy today's Partner Insider session.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Nina. Now on to our main topic. I want to introduce Mariana Quintana, our Director of Security Product Go-to-Market in the Americas. Mariana, up to you.
Hello, everybody. I am thrilled to be here to be able to share the future of security with all of you. So if we can please roll the video.
Security is complex, but it doesn't have to be difficult. Microsoft Copilot for Security brings the paradigm-shifting power of generative AI to the security industry at large. Copilot doesn't replace human insight and imagination. It complements your ingenuity at machine speed and scale, letting you see more and move faster. It performs complex security and admin tasks intuitively, elevating the expertise of the entire team. Junior members get a coach to develop their skills, while experts have an always-ready AI assistant, freeing them up to innovate, create, and think strategically. With Microsoft Copilot for Security on your team, you'll transform the way you protect and support your organization. Security is complex. Make it simple with Copilot.
Thank you. Can we go to the first slide, please?
Security.
All right, so hope everybody got excited about that video, as excited as I am to have the privilege of bringing to market AI to the security space for the Americas. It's been such an amazing journey. Just think about this for 1 second. AI is here to stay. AI has been taking the world by storm. It is grabbing headlines all over the place. People just want to get their hands on it, you know? It's about employees wanting to use these experiences for their everyday lives. It's about customers now expecting new AI capabilities in all the services you offer. And now we have the chance to make a tangible difference in their lives, to make it easier and to help them scale and defend at the speed of AI. Can we move to the next slide, please? When we think about AI and security, there's a bunch of questions that come to mind. One is, okay, what do we do with this? How can we make this tangible? What is the role of AI in security? The biggest one is helping scale. It's helping enhance your team's skill. You may or may not know, there is a very big gap in cybersecurity skills around the world and a lot of unfulfilled security jobs. So when we think about what AI can do just to make sure that we can protect at the speed of machine, it makes an amazing difference. Cybercrime is the fastest growing economy in the world. Yes, not something that we want to hear, but it is true. So what can we do to help our defenders? What can we do just to make sure that we tip the scale in favor of them? Human ingenuity will never be replaced. Human ingenuity is here to stay. What we can do is just give people technology to move faster. How can we make this unique human capabilities enhanced by the speed of AI? One of the things that we want to have top of mind when we think about Copilot for Security and when we think about AI and security is, one, about catching what others miss. When we think about catching what others miss is, we can analyze data from multiple data sources all at the same time. This is something that is, of course, beyond human capability, and AI is here to bring it to us. We can move a lot faster. So when we think about outpacing adversaries, how can we help our defenders just move faster, from hours to minutes? There are cases that we've heard examples from customers of things that took them 3 or 4 hours to complete that now in just about 3 or 4 minutes can be done with Copilot for Security. And then last but not least, augment your team expertise. People don't need to be super senior security analysts in order to be able to leverage this. You can use natural language to create prompts, to ask questions. This brings security to a whole new game and opens the doors to a lot of new people that can actually help us increase the size of our defenders. If we can move to the next slide, please. So here it is, Copilot for Security. We're extremely excited to talk about Copilot for Security. Copilot for Security is our first generative AI security product that helps defend organizations at the speed and the scale of AI. We have the combination of the most advanced GPT with OpenAI and Microsoft AI orchestration. It is powered by Microsoft's unique security expertise, global threat intelligence, and comprehensive security products. We have been working with customers since October with the early access program and are thrilled with everything we've been able to innovate, to learn, and to evolve, and are very happy to announce that Copilot for Security went generally available on April 1st. Yes, this Monday, this just happened. We are absolutely thrilled to be able to be the first to market and bring something as robust, as solid as Copilot for Security. Another thing I wanted to share with you is, who is Copilot for Security for? Sometimes we tend to think about that this is limited to security analysts, but it is not. When we think about who this is designed for, we have IT administrators. They can create devices configurations, right? And make sure that they use natural language to do this. We have insider risk analysts. They summarize insider risk management alerts. They can gain context about many suspicious or risky behavior that's going on. We also have identity access management. They can take a look and try to find out if we have any high-risk users, any overprivileged access, like are people accessing the right information. And last but not least, compliance analysts. Are people staying compliant, or are they in any communications violations? So lots of things that we can do when we think about Copilot for Security, as we integrate, of course, all the suite of Microsoft security products. Next slide, please. Security is a team sport. Copilot for Security is definitely not an exception. We're super proud to be able to bring Copilot integrated into workflows and processes that people already know and love. Copilot consumes signals from each of the Microsoft security tools and products and provides natural language to provide the team to help them guide in prompt and any inquiries they might want to make. And we can leverage the power of all the tools. We can include Defender, Sentinel, Entra, Intune, Purview. All these embedded experiences, you can get help from Copilot while you're working on with this product. This is amazing. Just think about what a force multiplier this is. Last but not least, think about the integration of the third-party solutions. This is just not about Microsoft. This is about how do we integrate third-party solutions to make sure that we increase the protection for our customers and, of course, for ourselves at the speed of AI. Can we move to the next slide? Before I leave, I wanted to share a couple of numbers with you. I love these because these just make so tangible the difference that Copilot for Security is making in everybody's lives. There was a test done for the experts, security experts, and they got to access Copilot. The ones that accessed Copilot compared with the ones that didn't were 22% faster than their peers. This is an incredible amount of time saving. Not only were they faster, but they were 7% more accurate, which means a lot when we think about security and the impact this has on everyday's life. And last but not least, 97% of them wanted to stay using it. So it is a product that people want to use, that people want to get closer to, and that they find a lot of value in. I'm very, very, very honored to be here this morning. And with this, I want to pass it to the next slide and to actually my partner in crime, Mr. Ryan Munch, who is our AI expert and is going to show us the magic behind the curtain and how does this really work. Ryan, off to you.
Thank you for the warm introduction. Appreciate it. First off, thank you all for joining us this morning. I'm excited to be able to talk to you about my favorite topic, and it's one that consumes my day all day, every day, and has for, I think, the past year and a half now, which is Copilot for Security. And we have a number of different things I want to convey, both in terms of how we're thinking about and what caused us to build Copilot, what we think it's going to do to the industry, and even talk about different use cases along the way. And then we'll wrap things up with a quick demo. If we could, let's go ahead and get into the first slide here, and I'm going to go ahead and do my normal thing, which is to pontificate a little bit about what it is and what we've built. So about 2 years ago, we had this initiative that started to span itself across Microsoft, that we needed to make AI happen in every single area of Microsoft. And when Satya looked around and he turned to the security group, he asked, well, what is our AI story? And what we did in that initial doctrine coming down from Satya is we took a step back and we thought, well, if we're going to introduce AI into security, what does it look like and what does it need to do? If you look across an enterprise security organization today, you'll see this highly fragmented, heterogeneous environment with all these independent and esoteric systems and data sets and processes that make accomplishing our fundamental goal of being able to secure an enterprise difficult. Next slide, please. And what we recognize is that in building an AI solution, it has to be able to solve all the things that are inherently difficult about security, the fragmentation, the high degree of specialization that exists when it comes to building out either a security product or training an individual to become an expert at that particular solution. It takes years, and it develops these lines of specialty that takes forever to be able to emulate to anywhere across your environment. And as a result, we have these fractionings that occur of security in an organization versus it being something that is a natural context to anyone operating in an enterprise. Next slide, please. So with that thought, we built an architecture that would solve all that. We didn't want to build something that reflects all of the AI solutions you see in the marketplace today, which is to take content and generate new content. We want to build something that solves the inherent challenge when it comes to being able to effectively work in security. And what we believe that this will do is we want to build a system that has an infinite number of skill sets connected to an infinite number of systems and partners. And partners such as you, what systems you have, what systems you connect to, how you provide that to your customers. That is the goal of Copilot for Security, is to empower that mission. And by doing so, as an operator, whether you are someone that operates in IT or data security or compliance or insider risk management, you can operate more effectively in a security context, because now you'll be able to ask simple questions and receive back a profound result. And that's what we mean by talking about tool consolidation. It isn't putting or asking customers or anyone to go and rip and replace something. Instead, it's being respectful and reverent to the investments they've made, such that we can empower them to be more successful and aware of what they have in front of them. If you look to your own backgrounds, I certainly can look to my own, where I came up more from an IT discipline, moved my way into threat intelligence, and now find myself talking about AI. However, if you ask me to hop into a SIEM today, respond to an incident, or otherwise be able to exceed or be successful in that capacity, it's difficult. But with an AI, it eliminates things like my lack of expertise, my bias maybe to work with a particular solution I know that I will be successful in. And those are the things that we see we have seen with Copilot for Security, and how it will empower individuals to be more successful in whatever they need to do and however they need to operate in a security context. And so with that, I want to talk about what we have today in some of our GA features, talk about some basic uses, and then talk about the key to the architecture itself. So we could, next slide, please. We'll focus on 4 primary use cases when it comes to Copilot for Security GA. First is the ability to look at a security incident and summarize it, or really any incident, because you could start an incident workflow in something like Microsoft Purview. You could start that in something like, for example, Intune or Entra, or any number of different solutions. Even one of our first third-party integrations for ServiceNow. That's where incident workflow can start, and it certainly can span a number of different disciplines and operators. We also want to be able to focus on impact analysis. How is a particular vulnerability maybe affected configuration or systems or users? Being able to reverse engineer scripts, which is one of the things that we introduced really early on with Copilot for Security in our preview. And what we found is something as simple or something as challenging as script analysis wasn't universally done across our customers. And by providing that ability in Copilot for Security, it not only sped up the work of the most capable individuals, it also introduced a net new competency for those that would never have looked at or tried to analyze a malicious script on their own. And then the next element, which you'll see in some of our embedded experiences, and I'll talk about the differences in what they are and what they represent, is what we call guided response, or providing a way as to inform you of what steps you should take and how you can respond in a security workflow. Next slide, please. So some of our, and we showed this a little bit earlier in the presentation, we saw different abilities in which you could, Copilot for Security is making an impact on its users. I talked about how script analysis introduced net new competencies. We talked about how it can make you more efficient. When we talk about catching what others miss, it really speaks to more of that element of how does AI introduce you into something that you may have not considered, maybe a solution that you weren't the most competent at, or maybe weren't aware of to even consider in a situation. That's the beauty of an architecture that allows for selecting the best way to respond to any given input of information, or addressing any particular piece of context and knowing where to go to seek fulfillment. All of this, and I think, has led to kind of some unexpected results in terms of, by introducing Copilot for Security into organizations, it has started to expand analysts' ability to work in other solutions. It's taught them different languages they didn't know before. It's taught them new skills, new utilities, and it's made them more effective in other ways that we didn't even anticipate in initially conceiving Copilot for Security. Next slide, please. This is what I affectionately refer to as the most dangerous slide on the deck for me, because I can talk a long time and really go into a lot of the details. I'm really passionate when it comes to what we've built and what it provides both to our customers as well as our partners. And it's critical to think about, or to understand, how Copilot for Security is fundamentally different than anything else you'll encounter. So I talked about our inception of the idea of what we need to do with an AI solution in an enterprise security environment. It needed to solve the fundamental challenge of security, which is fragmentation and the high degrees of specification that is required to operate and be successful. We had to build out an architecture that is different. And in security, as you're probably all aware, there's tons of different systems. Where those systems don't really work well with AI is that they all have their individual sets of data. They require recency to understand the most pertinent pieces of information. I'm sure, for example, that if you were to look today, there's probably been a few hundred different vulnerabilities published. Those are all things that require real-time access. So in the process of training a model, for example, what OpenAI does with their GPTs, that takes weeks of time and millions of dollars to make happen. In fact, they use the world's 5th largest supercomputer provided by Microsoft to make it happen. So it's an incredible endeavor to go out and build an individual model. Even then, what those models lack in terms of some initial deficiencies is that they don't have recency, number one. Two, when it goes into areas that require specializations for example, like healthcare or cybersecurity, those models don't work really well because they're monolithic in nature and they don't have the specific training of the individual systems necessary to understand those environments. So as a result, we built an architecture. If you look at some of the more of the academic side of the house, they're referred to as compound AI systems. We'll call them today, or refer to it simply as AI orchestration, or what we've articulated as security specific orchestration. And what this does, if, for example, I asked Copilot for security, what are my most critical incidents? Copilot would then look at and understand what sources it has available to it to be able to respond. So it could, for example, get incident information back from Sentinel or Defender or ServiceNow or any number of different solutions that contain incident data. And what this does is it provides the orchestrator the capacity to find that information, retrieve it, and then present it back to the user in the form of a prompt response. Along the way, we've provided a number of different mechanisms into our architecture to ensure things like proper grounding into truth so that we eliminate things like fabrications. We also want to source and be transparent and practice responsible AI principles, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. But what this does, it reflects like the complexity of our solution to be able to anchor into information specific to the customer, but also providing information relevant. So for example, when we talk about Evergreen Threat Intelligence, Microsoft Defender Threat Intelligence is baked into the solution for free. That's amazing. And that is part of our grounding information. The cyber skills refer to the plugins and the prompt books refer to different pieces of automation that we have available to us. The other elements of grounding refers to things like knowledge bases, which are articulated in a number of other different sessions we have, but they reflect customer-specific pieces of information that can provide context to better align the response against what our customers need. And with that, let's go on to the next slide, please. This represents Microsoft Defender Threat Intelligence. If you're not aware of it or if you're unfamiliar, the net of it is this. Microsoft has some of the most verbose threat intelligence in the world, and that's predicated upon the fact that it observes for the largest public clouds in the world. It gives us 60 or 78 trillion daily signals. From those signals, we distill it down into refined intelligence or finished intelligence. That is incorporated into MDTI, and that is what is infused into Copilot for security. It's what we provide for free. And we believe this, or we provide this for two reasons. One, we believe that threat intelligence context should be included in any type of security process, one. And two, it's our commitment to responsible AI and how we want to show you how we are sourcing information so you can adhere to the old cybersecurity adage of trust but verify. Next slide, please. So a couple other things to quickly disambiguate, Copilot for security, it's not ChatGPT, it's not based on that architecture. We are, one of the very initial things we realize is that to operate in an enterprise, we have to ensure that your data remains your data. We don't train on your data, so we can protect against things like model drift, model poisoning, and model bias. But also as a decision maker, whether you yourself as a partner or talking to your customer decision makers, they are very cognizant of what data the AI can reference over, whether or not it's training against it, and what type of risk that would introduce. And so because of that, we don't train off of it. We source information that either belongs to the customer or belong to Microsoft. We help protect the experience. And as a result, you can then safely operate an AI inside of an enterprise, which is different from anything you'll see across the industry. Next slide, please. Our solution is built on responsible AI principles. These are the 6 that we'll talk about: privacy and security, inclusiveness, accountability, transparency, which you see baked into the solution itself, fairness, reliability, and safety. Microsoft has a responsible AI website. I encourage you all to go out and read it. But these are the fundamental building blocks, if you will, of how we build any AI solution in Microsoft. And you see it emerge in working with Copilot. All right, next slide, please. All right, demo time. So I'm going to quickly, and I think I just got a few minutes left, provide a brief demonstration of Copilot for security. Now, for Copilot, we want to be able to work with or meet the operator wherever it is that they work. You could, for example, start your day in something like Defender, and we build out what are called embedded experiences to help with that. So if I, as a user, wanted to go out and start to begin my day and responding to an incident, I can. And now I can do so with the power and capacity of working with an AI solution like Copilot. Now, if you look at this incident, it's an incredibly complex one. There's over 51 different alerts. There's 16 assets that get tied to it. it would take a long time to rationalize and discern the most pertinent pieces of information from this incident. Copilot, you can see from the button here, as well as the summary on the side, can look at all of that and distill it down and make it and provide the most pertinent pieces of information for me to understand. And from this, I get all of the constituent elements of the incident. I know even where to go and what I can analyze then next. There are 5 different embedded experiences we built out for Defender. I'm going to cover 2 of them today, but know that there are a lot more. And so from that summary, what I learned, and probably most critical, is that, hey, I should go and look at the PowerShell. Now, some of my colleagues on the call are quite aware that I'm not the best at being able to look at and analyze PowerShell, and that's because of all the things that PowerShell represents. It's inherently challenging, it's difficult to learn, and it takes a certain degree of expertise to achieve. Now, this is a great example of where this solution is better together in that it typically, threat actors will encode a script that makes it difficult for humans to read. It also makes it impossible for AI to read because it outstrips the capacity of an AI system to process that volume of data. And there is a large amount in there. But because we're working inside a Defender, Defender will automatically decode it for us, and then it allows Copilot to go out and analyze it. And from here, even if I don't know PowerShell, I certainly can get a breakdown or understand a breakdown of what's happening. I get a summary, the step-by-step instructions of what the script is sequentially executing, and I can understand it better. Now, from here, I then have the option of, well, if there's other elements in my organization or in my environment that I know I need to incorporate into the investigation, I can. And I can do so by the virtue of the fact that Copilot operates as what is called a stateful AI solution, meaning we create sessions and we build session context. So just like a human, as you advance your understanding of a particular thing, Copilot will advance right along with you. Well done, marketing team, crushed that naming convention. So we now have that, and because we have that, we can more effectively operate and better understand exactly what is going on. So I am going to skip ahead a little bit into the key elements of this. So give me 1 second. I'm going to pull over what we'll call, or what it represents, a finished investigation, and we'll use that to put forward or show the rest of the solution. So from here, I got a breakdown of the script. It is inside of Copilot for Security. The quick thing I'll touch on, because I think I'm almost out of time, is that we have an ability to work with what are called other plugins. And so I can advance my investigation with that. So I can work with other Microsoft solutions. I can work with third parties, and I can even work with some custom plugins that I have built out. It's an incredible thing to have. It shows the extensibility of the solution, and it's why we believe it's going to be an incredible value inside of a customer organization. And it's why we're so excited for our partners to be able to go and take it forward and operate in tandem with customers with a generative AI. And with that, I think I'll hand it back over to Gina to then take it forward.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you so much, Ryan and Mariana, and thank you, partners, for your time today. We ask you to stay connected with us, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our monthly Cloud Partner Program newsletter, and please be sure to engage in our Microsoft America's Partner LinkedIn communities. Next slide, please. As a quick reminder, you should receive an email by the end of next week with this on-demand recording. Viewing options are in English, Spanish, French, as well as Portuguese. And you will also be receiving this presentation in that thank you email. We'll all see you again in May 8th for the next Partner Insider Call. We all hope that you have a great rest of your day, and thank you for your time.